Welcome to the BobCast,
where we have real conversations about being authentic.
We believe being Bobcat strong means
you have the power to be real
and make a real impact.
Hey, welcome back. Taking the Plunge, Part 2. In today's episode, we welcome Jackie Maier, who is Director of Posey County Special Services and Coordinator for Posey County Special Olympics.
Hey, so you want to give her a call?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
We are not just athletes. We are the ambassadors of an uprising, peaceful protesters, and a rebellion against anyone who has a fear of difference. A demand of equality, dignity, and recognition of our shared humanity. We will not stop or accept anything less. We are deserving. When we compete, we're fighting for a more inclusive world. We are champions on the field and for this cause. Today, our world is more divided than ever, and coming together has never been more urgent. The revolution is inclusion, and it's not optional. The only choice you need to make is how you will join it.
This is Jackie.
Hey, Jackie, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hey, Jackie, welcome to the BobCast.
Hello. Thank you.
All right, well, we got you via Bluetooth going straight into our mixer here. So I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yeah, we're going to start with some minute to win it exciting information here, Jackie. So in a minute or less, can you tell us who you are and just some details about what you do and why you do what you do?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Goodness, I don't know where to start. I graduated from North Posey High School and attended Indiana University, where I earned a bachelor's degree in education, elementary and special education. Went on to marry my high school sweetheart. We've been married for 32 years, and we have 3 beautiful children. I went ahead, I was in the classroom for 22 years at the elementary and the high school level. In the past 10 years, I have served as MSD Mount Vernon's Director of Special Education. So I've been with this district for 32 years. Does that answer your question?
It does, and you did it right at a minute. Beat the clock.
Yeah, and I think Ms. Brothers is going to send you some prize or something. Probably like a BobCast button. How about that?
Sure, yeah, it'll be in the mail.
Awesome.
Hey, I think we're just going to jump right into just asking about community outreach. And why should one serve in community?
Okay, so why should someone serve? Well, I really feel like community outreach is often reflected in the improved health and economic outcomes of those who benefit from the outreach programs. And people like me, people like you, we have to serve through community outreach to make a difference, just to help our community function better.
Okay, I like that you said to make a difference.
Absolutely. That's something we touch on a lot in Bobcat Strong, and we refer to it as ripple effects, and we tell our students that everything they do, positive or negative, can set off a ripple effect and carry through our school community. So we try to emphasize that one person can make a big impact on any given moment. So, what advice would you give to our Bobcat students here on how they, as one person or one student, could make a big impact on their school or their community?
Absolutely. I feel like when you can support a cause you care about and address a problem or a need that affects your community, you can inspire others to join you. And like you said, you create that ripple effect of change. I think community outreach work can also help you contribute to the common good and make your community a better place to live, to work, to play. I mean, it's just so powerful.
Yeah. And I think we last week we had Randy Parker here, and he's big super plunger, Special Olympics, and he did some name dropping in that episode. He said you, and he talked about Special Olympics, and we're just wondering, why Special Olympics? Why do you support Special Olympics?
That's a great question, and Randy is absolutely amazing. But yes, why do I support Special Olympics? Well, like I told you, I was in the classroom as a special education teacher for 22 years. And as a special education teacher and a varsity track and field coach, a cross-country coach, I witnessed the power and impact sports and team participation had on student athletes. I often wished we had a Special Olympic County program for my students in the classroom. But, with 3 small children and the responsibilities of my job, my plate was full. So finally, in 2012, I reached out to some colleagues and friends to revitalize a program that had been non-existent in our community for more than 20 years. And so we started with just 3 sports. Now we offer 7 sporting programs with plans to possibly add an 8th program soon. We have 65 registered athletes just in Posey County. So, it started. It just happened so fast.
Can you tell us exactly what events you have as far as the Posey County Special Olympics?
Sure. What sports we offer?
Yes.
So yes, absolutely. So in the fall, we have a large bowling program. We have basketball in the winter along with dance, and they don't have to choose. They can do both, as we offer at the same time. They can do both if they want. In the spring, currently, right now, we are in the pool. We are swimming. We have track and field that will start in early April, along with bocce. Bocce is in April as well. You do have to be 30 in Special Olympics to play bocce. I thought that was interesting. We play softball in the summertime. We participate actually with Vanderburg for the softball. And then we're in conversation. We're looking at possibly adding the sport of powerlifting.
Oh, very cool. And I was listening to the different programs you offer, and you said something that I relate to when you talked about having a passion to do something, but, you're juggling being a mom and you're juggling a career. And I know that, for our students, they're maybe not juggling those kinds of responsibilities yet, but they have homework, they have sports of their own, they have things like that. And so I think it's important to touch on, because all of us socially are stretched and have a lot of our plate, a lot going on. Why should you set aside the time to give back, to engage others and be inclusive, get involved? What would you say volunteering and giving back does for someone's mental health and their well-being?
Sure, absolutely. So I strongly believe that serving others and volunteering with an organization that you feel connected absolutely has a positive impact on your social and emotional health 100% of the time. As humans, we have basic needs. Not only do we need air, water, food, but we also have a need for self-worth, competence, appreciation, recognition, respect, and just by, maybe if your passion is dance, maybe just by volunteering with the dance program, I really strongly believe you would find that so rewarding. And it, it doesn't have to be with Special Any organization that you feel strongly about or have a passion for. I also do a lot of work with Avery's Place Playground. It's going to be a beautiful, inclusive playground that will be built here in Mount Vernon. And that is very dear to my heart, and we're super, super excited about that as well. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be Special Olympics. It can be any organization you feel passionate about.
That's awesome. So, developing connectivity and bringing community together. Jackie, do you have a special story about a Special Olympian? Anything right off the top of your head that comes to mind as far as Special Olympians?
Oh gosh, I have some amazing stories. But there have been several moments over the years that I feel like have impacted me, and really, really made me feel so grateful and blessed to be involved in such a fabulous organization. In 2018, I had the opportunity to travel with Team Indiana as the head coach for track and field for Special Olympics USA Games in Seattle, Washington. And I can vividly remember walking in the stadium as a part of Team Indiana, surrounded by thousands of athletes, volunteers, spectators. And I just remember so vividly realizing that my small efforts here in little Mount Vernon, Indiana, along with so many others, are truly making a difference. The USA Game athletes, they were not only amazing athletes, but they were respected. ESPN was there begging for interviews. The atmosphere it just gives me cold chills. I mean, tolerance was truly expected and diversity was welcome. And I just think that speaks so highly of the organization.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's good for adults and students both to be reminded that there's a huge world out there and that Mount Vernon is our community and our world. And you talk about ripple effects. I think that's a great example for our students that you had ripple effects, like you said, that started in Mount Vernon and spread all the way across the country. And, you know, how you can see firsthand small efforts, big impact, which I love that. And, we've talked about, go ahead.
Well, and I was just going to share that, we've had one particular athlete. She traveled with me in Seattle, and then she also traveled with me in Orlando, Florida. And then she actually was selected as an athlete representative from the entire state of Indiana. She got to travel to the World Games in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, that's amazing. You
talk about an amazing experience for her family. I feel like that, Special Olympics for her just opened so many doors. So just the thought of volunteering in our community, I want people to know that you don't know where that volunteer opportunity is going to take you. It could possibly open so many doors.
Sure, absolutely. So, we've talked about Special Olympics and what an amazing opportunity it is to start that ripple effect. Can you tell us how somebody can get involved with Special Olympics? I know our junior high just played basketball with the Special Olympics team the other night. That was a great event. So maybe you could give some advice to our junior high students about, if they're wanting to volunteer and get involved, how could they do that?
Absolutely. So we offer opportunities throughout the year for involvement. If they can reach out to you, you can send me their name and I will just send them the schedule. Like if they're just going to come once or twice, we welcome them. We'll put them to work at our sporting events. If they want to volunteer on a regular basis, if they'll send me an email, I will respond with the link to go walk through our volunteer training. We do require background checks simply because we are very passionate about protecting our athletes.
Sure.
And it's an easy process, though, and we welcome all ages to help us because there's always things that we need help with.
Yeah. Jackie, Special Olympics is this you know, as for me as well, is dear to the heart. I mean, when I lived in Missouri, I served with Special Olympics there and got to take some kiddos to, you know, we bowled, and then we had a track event in DeSoto, Missouri as well. And just to see the smiles and those kids on the podium and gaining their medals, I think it's really awesome. And I encourage everyone here in Mount Vernon, if we can get involved with Special Olympics, and we'll be putting them your way to apply.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, and I love it. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the portion where we're going to close it out, but I have some silly questions for you. Last week, again, Randy Parker, I don't know if you listened to last week's Take the Plunge episode, but we had a question for Randy, and there was a little bit of a debate between he and Miss Brothers. So
yes, and I gotta say, we're gonna ask you the question and get your answer, but like any good social worker, I did research and I have an update to my answer. So I'm gonna let Weaver ask you the question first, because I'm curious to see what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and I know that I tabled because I couldn't think of things.
That's true.
Something right off the bat, you know. But I have thought about it as well, and I have.
Okay.
That. So we'll see what Jackie says first. We'll just go ahead and get right into the debate.
Okay.
So, Jackie, if animals could talk, which animal would be the rudest?
So I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go with the chimpanzee.
Oh, I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one. Chimpanzee.
I think they're rude animals. You know, watching them at the zoo, they seem selfish, and what bothers me the most, I think, is their lack of manners.
Yeah, there's no etiquette within the chimpanzees.
None.
Okay, that's fair. So, Weaver, what do you have for us?
Well, I grew up on the southeast coast, so I'm going to have to say the seagull. I mean, they're opportunistic, right? They're always seeking something, and it's usually food. And you could have, like, you know, food in your hand, and they just come down and just grab it right out of your hand. I mean, again, they don't have any manners. I mean, they're flocking towards you, and then don't make a mistake by giving one a handout, I guess, because then they all come at you. And I mean, they fly down.
That's fair, actually. They do. They are invasive.
A flock of seagulls coming at you. So, the seagull.
Well, okay. So, my kids and I watch a lot of, like, kids' Discovery Channel. I have a couple of kids that love animals, want to be a vet. So, we spend a lot of our time, you know, learning about different animals. And I was watching, and there was a shoebill stork. Have you heard of this? Shoebill stork. They live in Africa, and people say that they're like a dinosaur that's still, and these things are massive. So their beak is like the size of a full-grown foot, like a man's foot. And they make a like growling sound, and they can make this sound where they sound like a machine gun. And like all they do is terrorize their environment, all the animals around them, and all the animals around them for no reason. For no reason. And they are tough. Like, they'll take on alligators and win the fight.
Really?
Listen,
so wait, you're changing your answer
I'm
from
changing
last
it.
week.
I'm changing it.
Because you were the
Because a shoebill, I think a shoebill would, you know, put a flamingo to shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it might put a chimpanzee to shame,
Listen,
too.
just look it up is all I'm saying. Look it up.
Okay.
Shoebill.
Hey, and there's a new Planet of the Apes movie coming out, too. I don't know if you watched that series.
I have not, no.
Yeah. So, anyway, okay, Jackie, one more. What is the... we can talk about animals all day. I don't know why we're... Anyway, what is the craziest characteristic that you have? I mean, obviously, Randy Parker last week was jumping into freezing cold water, as he would say. What is your craziest characteristic?
Probably I'd have to say that I love to run. I've run lots of marathons, and I've even completed an Ironman. So to most people, that's pretty crazy.
That's awesome. You did an Ironman. Wow.
I did.
Okay. You have to share that story one day with us. That's awesome.
I would love to, because I did that with my daughter. So, yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Ms. Brothers, you want to ask the last question or have Jackie close us out with some words of wisdom?
Well, I'm still over here thinking about the shoe bill. So, so we're going to let you close us out.
Can the shoe bill stork, can it handle an Ironman? Can it?
Listen, it's pretty, I don't know.
Well, we'll put
I don't know what the endurance ability on a shoe
against
bill.
Jackie Maier. I think that's what we should do.
My goodness. All right, Jackie, if you could close us out with just words of wisdom for our junior high students listening to the BobCast on how to take the plunge and get involved and make an impact.
Well, because we're talking about Special Olympics, our Special Olympic athletes often recite some powerful words before competition, and I really think those words they truly pertain to everyone. So I will just close this out with "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt."
Oh, I like that.
Jackie, we appreciate everything you do for the district. We appreciate everything you do for our community. And we thank you for coming out to the BobCast.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks,
You're so
Jackie.
welcome.
Bye, Jackie.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Hey, join us next week for Taking the Plunge Part 3, where we interview some real BobCast student panel.
Be real, Bobcats. See ya.